All right, guys. So the next thing we'll have to talk about is the input and output wiring on the Siemens PLC. If we don't talk about this prior to doing the actual PLC programming, then we might get a little bit lost as to what I'm doing on the screen. So let's take a look at how the inputs and the outputs are wired on this unit. So this is the S7 1200. Again, it looks like this, and it comes with that starter package that we talked about earlier. This is the model number for my specific PLC. I'm not sure what each of these different numbers mean. Over here, it's telling us that it's a 1200 series rather than a 1400. So a 1400 would be a step up. This is a 1200 series. This C means this is a compact unit in that all of the inputs and outputs are all part of the same compact unit, and that you don't get to add different cards to it for the inputs and outputs. They already have inputs and outputs given. You can get additional input and output cards and analog cards to go with this, but the base unit comes with looks like 8 different inputs here and the 6 different outputs on the back here. Okay, mine is an AC/DC relay. We talked about this in the hardware configuration, in that it has the ability to do AC and DC, and the relay outputs here are not transistor. They're actually relays that turn on and turn off. Okay, let's take a look at the actual wiring though, so you can see how you would wire up this particular PLC. Okay, so I'm just going to use my PowerPoint here and just drag in each different connection here. So the first connection here we would need would be obviously line 1 and neutral, right? So that's your 120, your 220, or your 240, right? That I've shown line 1 and neutral. That could be line 1 and line 2 if you're using 240 volts. But if you're using 120, it would be line 1 and the neutral, and then your ground as well. Okay, the next step is we have the 24 volts. And in this case, I'm showing that they're providing sourcing inputs, in that we're providing a positive voltage into each of the inputs. So we have 0 through 7 here, right? So we have 8 different inputs. But remember, they always start at 0 for the first terminal there. Okay, so if I have input 0.0, that corresponds to this terminal right here. If I have input 0.1, that's this guy right here. If I have input 0.4, that's this terminal right here. So I always want to make sure that the address matches exactly with the terminal that we've wired up to. So each of these guys, I just have normally open contacts that are like push buttons that are placed here. And when I push that push button, it's going to provide that positive voltage into each of my inputs there. So I've just arbitrarily used my positive as the source here. So this is a sourcing input into the PLC. Now I have to complete the circuit, so I have to have this positive connecting eventually up to the negative here, or the common. So you'll notice that there's a jumper right here that goes between the common of my inputs to the negative of my power supply here. Otherwise, if this jumper wasn't here, then this current flow would not happen. Okay, so we have to connect the commons. So this is we'll talk about this more in detail, but this is sourcing inputs, in that I'm providing a source of positive current. If I had used the negative going to each of my push buttons and then jumpered the positive to the common, then that would have been an example of a sinking input, in that I've already have a connection to the positive to the common of my PLC, and I'm sinking that positive current back to ground. But we'll talk about that in more detail later on. Okay, so those are all my digital inputs. So when I press this push button, I'm providing voltage. I'm providing 24 volts to that input there. And we'll see that on the next video, as I'm making the AND and OR circuits, I'm deciding on different instructions in order to look for the presence or the absence of voltage. So if I press this push button, I'm going to have the presence of 24 volts being applied to that terminal there. If I don't press that normally open push button, then there's 0 volts being applied to that terminal there. Okay, hopefully this will become more apparent as we go through the programming, but I just wanted to go through how you would normally physically wire the inputs on this PLC. Okay, then in addition, there are analog inputs, and we'll get into this one in a little bit more detail. But it looks like I've got to move this guy over just a touch. Sorry about that. for this guy, we would have our sensor, and then that sensor would be providing usually a positive current into the analog input, and then the common is tied into the negative of the sensor's power supply there. Okay, there's a little bit more detail here on this link. Again, I always give the PDFs for each of these PowerPoints as we're going through, and these are live links. You can click on this and it'll bring you to the page that I got this diagram from. Okay, so these are all of our inputs on the top of the PLC. If I go to the bottom for the relay outputs, then I have to provide a source of current. So in this case, I have my line 1 and my neutral here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just providing that line 1 into the common of the outputs. This could be 24 volts. I'm deciding, that it's 120, but it could be 24 volts going into this guy. This could be AC or DC. It's a relay, and it's just a set of contacts that are going to close and allow that current to go out to my output. So I'm providing my line 1. I've got a fuse here going to my common there. And that think of that as providing power to a common bus inside of the PLC. Then when I turn on the output, say I turned on output 0, then that 120 volts would go out to my actual load. You can see that each of my loads here are sharing the same common back to the neutral there. So the hot, we'll call this the hot conductor, or the live conductor, is going into the common of the PLC on the output side. Think of that as powering up a bus inside the PLC. And whenever I turn on this particular output, then that contact will close and allow that current or that voltage to go out to the load. In order to control each individual output, I have each of these separately addressed. So this will be Q0.0, Q0.1, Q0.2. And if I wanted to control Q0.5, it would be this guy right here. Just keep in mind that these two, I have jumpered the commons together. So be careful if you're not having the load actually turn on. It may be that you have to provide that power to that particular common over here. This common seems to be for 0, 1, 2, and 3 outputs. And this common right here is common to output number 4 and output number 5. So again, if I wanted to turn on output number 5, I would use %Q0.5. And then when that was true inside my PLC program, then the contact would close. That 120 volts in this case would come over and go out to the output. And the output already has a connection back to the neutral there. Okay, let me bring up the actual PLC and I'll show you exactly the wiring that's there, and I'll show you the input simulator that I'm going to make use of as well. Give me 2 seconds to show you that. Okay guys, so this is my Simatic S7 1200. The part number is on the side. We can't see that right now, but we can see here the CPU 1212C AC-DC relay, just like we saw on that diagram there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the protective covering on the inputs here and on the outputs. So I'm just taking my finger and moving this to the side, and then I can gently take this off. And hopefully you can make out here the different labels here. So this is my 120, 240 volts that's going in. So I have this plugged into 120 where my hot, my neutral, and my ground are tied into those terminals there. Okay, then I have 24 volts available right here. And you can see on this input simulator here that 24 volts comes up here, and these two terminals, my hand's in the way, sorry, let me move my hand over here. These two terminals right here are also going to be providing 24 volts. So I can, like I have some wires that are looped up, you can just make them out right here, right? Those are my inputs from my simulator over here. But if I wanted to bring 24 volts over to this guy, I could tie into these two terminals on my input simulator on the top there. But this one has an internal rectifier that takes the 120 or the 240 volts AC and rectifies it to provide us with 24 volts DC. Okay, then that positive voltage comes up here and ties into each of the different switches there. And then as I toggle each of those switches, then as I toggle each of these guys, then I'm going to be allowing that voltage to go into the PLC. Let me just plug my my PLC in here, and you'll see that those I/O terminals, the LEDs that are corresponding to them, are going to change there. So let's turn each of these guys off. So right now I have no voltage going into the inputs, and this is my input 0 right here. So when I toggle that guy, then you'll see that that terminal turns on right there. Okay, looks like I've got a program in the PLC there with some type of timer there, and you can see that my outputs are cycling on and off on the output there. So you can see that output 0 turns on, then 1, then 2, then 0 goes off, then 1 goes off, then 2 goes off. I was trying to work away with some timer circuit before. Okay, if I toggle the second terminal there, so I'll turn this guy, I'll open that guy so we don't have any voltage going to the PLC. Then I'll close the second terminal there, and that has nothing to do with my PLC program that's there. So, or maybe it does it? No, it looks like the output 0 is staying on there, but this input number 1 has nothing to do with that output there. So you can see me toggling that switch. There's 24 volts going to the input, there's 0 volts. And as I toggle each individual switch, right, there's input number 2, so that's my third dip switch there. As I switch that one, there's 0 volts, there's 24 volts going into the PLC. But you can see that as your inputs are changed from 0 volts to 24 volts, then that will toggle different portions of your PLC program, as long as you have addressed that particular input to correspond to that physical input that you've actually wired to. Okay, you can hear that clicking in the background there. So those are the relay contacts that are closing, and we can see here there's my common for 0, 1, 2, and 3, my outputs, and then this second common is common to output number 4 and output number 5. So this PLC it doesn't matter if I put AC or DC on these outputs. It's just a relay contact that's physically, let me get my fingers in there, physically just closing and opening, and whenever it closes, it allows that voltage to go out. And that LED is showing that the contact is closed and the voltage is going out to the output there. Okay, so hopefully everything makes sense so far on the inputs and the outputs, and you have a good understanding of what I mean by the input simulator here. This is physically just like a piece of plexiglass with the circuit board on top of it, and these little dip switches then tie into each of these different terminals there. So this comes with the starter package, and it's a cool way that you can turn your inputs on and off. You have to be gentle because they'll break easily, but that way we can toggle things on and off, and we can simulate our inputs coming in, and then create PLC programs to turn on our outputs there. Excellent. Okay, guys, we'll stop there. I'll see you in the next video. I believe the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create an AND and OR circuit within TIA Portal.